We have progressed remarkably in just the past 2 centuries, from inventing the first car, to taking to the skies, to harvesting the power of the atom. Our societies have grown ever more sophisticated at an exponential rate. We can see this when we look at the Deepwater horizon, the largest offshore oil extraction operation ever launched. Built in 2009, the rig was situated approximately 50 miles off the coast of Louisiana, on top of a natural oil reserve named the Macondo Prospect. But almost as soon as the rig had reached the oil, it all went up in smoke. Just like that, one of our greatest feats became one of the most devastating environmental catastrophes in all of human history. 11 workers died and 19 were seriously injured by the explosion on the Deepwater horizon. The rig burned for 2 days, eventually sinking. Over the next 89 days, 200 million gallons of oil and gas spewed up from the seafloor, enough to power over 670,000 homes for a year. The spill wreaked havoc on the environment and the surrounding wildlife. So, what went wrong? Upon first hearing the story, you might think that it was the rig crew's fault. Multiple pressure tests had been conducted the day of the explosion, which all pointed to something being wrong. We also need to consider, however, that the construction of the Deepwater was more than a month behind schedule when the explosion took place. The crew had reported that conditions during construction were challenging, as they encountered several setbacks that delayed their progress. They were also just following orders from the lead architects, so were they to blame? Throughout construction, the architects pushed to get the project done as soon as possible, cutting corners which eventually resulted in the oil well being compromised. At that point, the project had been so far behind schedule that there was extreme pressure from the high ups at BP, as the demand for oil was quickly outpacing the amount that was being produced. Even if BP did cut corners though, all their plans still needed to be greenlit by the Minerals Management Service, or MMS, before construction could even begin, which was precisely the case. Soon after the Deepwater explosion, it was found out that the MMS had a less than stellar track record, prone to financial favors. Clearly, a lot went wrong. Like poverty, global warming, or any other large man-made catastrophe you can think of, what happened at the Deepwater was not quite so simple. In fact, Professor Richard Buchanan had a word for this fickle phenomenon. Back in 1992, Buchanan described wicked problems as strategic and logistical challenges that couldn't easily be pinned down. That's because whenever you try, more contributing factors come to light. And so the more you think about the problem, the larger it starts to look. The closer you think you are to finding a solution, the farther you realize it actually is. Just look at the Deepwater incident. All of those factors had mixed and stewed to form a wicked problem. As such, it may be overwhelming to try singling out a culprit, but maybe that's missing the point. As our systems grow more complex, perhaps it's time we change the way we think about them too. Is it endless problems these systems present, or limitless opportunities for improving our world?